Last time on Unmorphed.
Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another edition of Unmorphed. It is MomoCon Day 2, and as you may notice, things are a little bit rushed. Alright, I'm calling the first panel a wash. I went over there, and it was really full. People standing in the back, and it just kind of seemed like opening the door would be disruptive. For lunch today, I went to Burger, don't know how to pronounce it. This is a coffee mocha shake made with custard that is fantastic, and this is a bad burger. It's not actually, I haven't even tasted it yet. Why am I saying it's a bad burger? Because it is a breakfast all day burger. You may see, you got egg there. There's apparently like maple syrup and whatever. I figured, hey, I mean, you know, it's definitely lunchtime, but it's really kind of my first meal of the day, so why not go with something breakfasty? There's potatoes, like hash browns there too. It's pretty good. I'm gonna eat now. See you guys in a bit.
Whoa! It occurs to me that I haven't really filmed much today, and there's a couple of different reasons for that. Kind of conserving the battery, because that's been an issue. I do have the charging cable with me, so the phone can be charging when I get in the car. Experiencing the con, hanging out with Arthur more, just a bunch of reasons that I've been like, you know, less focused on picking up the camera. But I'm having fun, and that's what matters. I am on my way back to the room, as I said. I actually wanted to stay the slightest bit longer. Whether we go to the same panels or different panels, Arthur and I tend to get together after the last panel and go to the video game hall and play some video games. Tonight I didn't want to cut it so close. I had to leave a little bit earlier. I do want to leave some battery just so I know how to get to IHOP and then back to the hotel. And like I said, I'll talk about the panel experience and the con experience today when I get back to the room. So, see you in a bit. Well, I'm back in the room. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, good. You know, you learned your lesson from last night. Wasn't any kind of big adventure getting back to your room, finding food. From the sounds of it, Orange Ranger, I would say that you have eaten, which I have, and you got back to the room smoothly. Oh, heroes. MomoCon 2019 will be remembered as the year that had two adventures. The second, more harrowing than the first. I probably dillied a little bit. I was vlogging, and I'm of course not blaming any of you heroes for what I'm about to tell you about. But just vlogging, I probably wasn't walking quite as fast as I could. And when I got into the MARTA station, I heard a train leaving, and it looked like the one I was trying to catch. The train I was trying to catch was coming at 1 a.m. straight up. I got to the station at about 1:03. So, I missed that train, but a couple of other people walked in right behind me, and I heard them talking, and they were like, oh, no, there's another one coming. And I was like, okay. And I looked at the schedule myself, and it did look like there was one more train that was going east to one station, to 5 Points, the big connecting station, where I would catch the last Gold Line train going north to the transfer point to, actually not even the last Red Line train, which would bring me all the way up here. So we waited, and it was going to be like another 25-ish minutes. And at some point we did hear
an overhead speaker guy that worked in the station saying that the eastbound train was coming. So, alright. Probably around 1:43-ish, I think, that train did get to the station. So, good. We're on the right track so far. It goes the one station over. I book it up the escalator to get up a floor to where the trains are going. No, I remember actually, it was up an escalator and down another escalator. It was weird. But just to get to the different part of the station. And honest to God, I saw that train pulling right out. And I was like, okay, well, if it's pulling out, there must be another. Because they must know that the Blue Line train just pulled into the station and that some people on it would probably want to get on this train. So there was someone else on the other side of the tracks, which sounds weird in this context. I'm literally saying on the other side of the tracks, who asked the guard, and I heard him say, no, that was the last train going north. And he had seen me and gave me kind of a weird look. And, you know, I walked his direction across from him on the other side of the tracks. And when he finished explaining that, he turned to me and he was like, yeah, that was the last train north. And, you know, I had been talking to Arthur about, like, they understand at the end of the night, at the end of their schedule, you know, yes, there's making the train on time and whatever, but trains can be delayed or whatever. You're going to have people making transfers, and, like, it makes sense to let the last trains of a run get to the station and then give it a minute for people to make their transfers before you leave. But no, not apparently in this case. It just left. And I told the guard, I was like, I just got off the Blue Line train. And he goes, well, I guess you're going to have to take an Uber or something. Thank you for the help, sir. So that train was done, which means I had no way to get to the transfer station to get to where the red line was. So essentially speaking, I was trapped, especially since this thing was once again at 3%. The iPhone SE, the small edition as I call it, has a battery that does not impress me in the slightest, and vlogging doesn't know favors. So if I remember right, when I got into that situation, this phone was on 3%. And so I messaged my friend who had told me, you know, he was the one that was like, you need to go to catch this train. I was like, well, I'm at 5 points and I missed the last train going north. And I was thinking about, like, what I could possibly do, and I knew that I could download Uber, you know, and get an Uber. But, like, downloading that app and then making the request would be, you know, it could kill my battery. So I was talking to my friend about that, and I was thinking about it, and I went ahead and downloaded the Uber app. And getting it all set up and everything took the phone from 3% to 1%. And I was like, oh, God. Just as I was about to hit, you know, confirm pickup, Arthur messaged me and said, I'm going to come get you. And I was like, oh, thank God. I mean, the ride was going to be about $15, but still, it's nothing exactly to sneeze at. Good price for how far I had to go. I mean, we're talking from the middle of downtown to, like, significantly north Atlanta, so good price, but it was better not to have to pay it. He is now, I think I may have mentioned, he is now staying in the convention hotel. So, and his car was there, so he was able to come to pick me up, and again, it was only one station over from the convention center, so he wasn't far away. And I told him I'm buying him lunch tomorrow. He picked me up and he brought me back to the Dunwoody MARTA station. And then I got in the car and came back here. Tomorrow I'll buy him lunch. So, that part of the adventure. I got back to my car. Now it's time to figure out dinner, right? People on Facebook, when I posted about the adventure I went on last night, were like, well, you can go to a place like IHOP or Waffle House and get it to go. And someone else suggested Uber Eats, right? So, but I figured I'm at the MARTA station. I'm already out. I may as well just pick something up on the way back. So I remembered the suggestion that IHOP would be something I could do. It would be open. I could go in and ask them for a to-go meal, and they would do that. So I looked up the closest IHOP, and according to Siri, it was closed. I don't want to stay in this part of Atlanta anymore. And you'll figure out why in a second more, too. So at this point, I'm like, I realized that half of my McDonald's situation last night was bad luck. There was the one restaurant that was cash only, and the other one, I thought, it was probably just a time of the night where the computers reset or whatever, and they closed for like 20 minutes or whatever, and that just happened to be when I showed up. Okay, let's give McDonald's one more chance. So I asked where the nearest one was, and she told me about the one that was closed when it was supposed to be open 24 hours. It's like, okay. Slightly different timing. I was running a little bit earlier than I was last night, which isn't saying much. Let's give it a shot. Went over there, saw people inside. I mean, like, employees. Rolled myself up to the drive-thru. Nothing. I swear on my life, they didn't say a word. And I was like, hello? Is anybody here? Are you open? Nothing. Okay. Forget McDonald's. I am done. I'm done. So I'm like, that's IHOP. And now it's McDonald's, and I was this close to coming back. I still have a cheddar cheese yakisoba that I got at the gas station as like a last resort. So I remembered last night when I was looking through the list of the fast food that was open. I saw McDonald's and then I saw Crystal, with the little White Castle type burgers. And I was like, you know what? Let's give it a try. Let's try it. And I told him, I was like, if this doesn't work, I'm going home and I'm doing an Uber Eats. Or the yakisoba. I probably would have done an Uber Eats. So, it took me to 285 and then 40 or 41, I think. It was like a 10-minute drive. Which is not much, but I mean, when you're going to get fast food, you normally don't want to drive for 10 minutes. Unless you absolutely have to. I pulled into that drive-thru. And somebody spoke to the speaker, and they didn't say we're closed. They said, what can I get for you? I was like, hallelujah, Crystal has saved life. I got a bunch of food. I didn't even eat it all. I'm going to have some of it tomorrow for a strange sort of breakfast. Because we're talking about 2 Crystals and chili cheese fries. Breakfast of champions. I'm learning some things that I will incorporate next year. As long as I have this phone, I'm going to need to bring at least one charged power brick with me to plug the phone into when it goes dead. So I stop running into the situation where I need my phone and it's about to die. Have an idea of a plan for when I'm going to eat. Like I think I mentioned before, I'm going to try to get a room at the Omni next year, which means I'll be right there in the middle of town, or like right at the convention area and stuff. And that may not necessarily still solve the what I'm going to eat problem, but we'll see. Yeah, just there may be some lessons I'm forgetting, but just... So it's after 4 again. And this time it actually is going to cost me. There wasn't much in the morning that I decided not to attend. There was an hour with Charles Martinet, which would have been nice, but it's not skin off my nose. Tomorrow, the geeky tap dancing group Noise Complaint is performing at 10 a.m., and there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to make it, and I'm disappointed about that. I really did want to see their performance, especially after seeing Geekapella tonight, but play the cards you dealt, I guess. I will probably be getting to bed at near the same time. I'm going to try to get to bed before 6 a.m., which means I'll probably be starting out at like 2:30. I might push it a little earlier. We'll see. Okay, this clip is 16 minutes long. Hopefully not after I edit it. I am going to finish preparing for bed, finding out what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, and my last clip will fill you in. It certainly will seem like just a moment to you all. It has, in fact, been probably about 15 or 20 minutes for me. God, I look tired. But as promised, I decided to come and update you on what I will be doing tomorrow. I feel the need to mention once again that the lateness of the schedule means I will not be able to make it to the Noise Complaint performance, but I really wanted to, so I'm counting that basically as something I missed. The merciful thing in that is that really after that, and you could see this as me getting spared from this in a way, so that performance was at 10 and it would last until 11. The next thing I'm interested in doing is at 4 o'clock, so I would have had 5 hours. I would have spent the time, of course, but yeah, this way I can just show up around 4-ish o'clock. I will be going to Content Creator 101 with Noisy Butters, which is awesome because I don't have the first clue who Noisy Butters is, but I am interested in content creation, as you can see. So, that's good. After that, straight into another panel that is going to be building a tabletop community. So, that's about, like, building a group of friends or even, like, a social community group in your area that plays tabletop games, like RPGs or even board games or whatever. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, earlier, Arthur and I played a board game. I can't remember what it's called. He's gonna kick my butt for it. It started with an S, and it was about, like, wealth. Splendor. It's a game called Splendor. I'm almost positive. If I'm wrong, it's right there, but I'm pretty sure that it was called Splendor, and it's a very fun game. It's kind of a card buying game. You every turn you can either collect gems, buy cards, or reserve cards to buy them later. And then the cards are also gems, so once you have them, you like permanently have that wealth, which you can use to buy more cards. And you're trying to attract the favor of these patrons, which give you victory points if you can collect them, but some of the cards also have victory points. I won rather handily, actually. I felt like he was going easy on me, but he said he wasn't. He just wasn't paying attention to the strategy, so I don't know. Anyway, that was an aside. Building a tabletop community. Playing board games is fun. I'm sure playing RPGs is fun as well. Maybe one day I'll get involved in one. So, at 7 o'clock, 3 panels in a row, Ultraman and more. I have now attended a Toku-themed panel on each of these days, because there was one today. Arthur was co-hosting it, so I decided to go. It was pretty fun. So after that, I finally have an off block. It is the 8:30 panel block. But 10 o'clock is game night with DA Games, which is another person that I don't know who they are. To be honest with you, the only reason I have this marked for attendance is that it is marked with a content warning. And there might be some of the naughty words. It is now time for me to grab a shower and turn this in. I should at least be able to get plenty of sleep with my first panel at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So, yeah. Did I end yesterday's vlog? I don't think I did. If I didn't, I apologize. Thank you folks so much for watching. Again, as I said earlier when I was coming back and I was heading into the train station, I know it's been a lot of me talking again, and I apologize for that. There are times where I want to record parts of panels. In this video, you will have seen clips from the Geekapella concert, so that's good, you know. It's just, you know, you're in a panel and people are talking and stuff, and then you're like, oh, I want to see them talk, even if it's just for a minute, you know. So, yeah, I feel weird about it. And then otherwise, it's just me walking around and stuff, and you may have never seen it before, but, like, for me, again, it's my 5th time, and it's my 4th time with it in this venue, so I feel kind of familiar, so I'm like, I don't want to bore them because they've never seen this before, you know. Try to include some walking footage and things of that nature. Well, alright, heroes. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, may the power protect you, and toodaloo.